You really think that elephant on the political ballot is just a marketing logo? That is the ancestral representation of your republic, a government modeled directly after the loyal and protective structure of elephantine families that have been in America since time immemorial. In our ancient society, we didn't just read about elephants in books, we owned them like dogs, and they served as our great caregivers and protectors during the mammoth phase right here on this soil. You have been fed a fill-in-the-blank history to hide the fact that elephants and camels are indigenous to the Americas. They turned these majestic symbols of our republic into circus acts and minstrel shows, mocking our heritage for the amusement of the New World. The ultimate insult is right in your face, but you're too blind to see it. Dumbo. They named the circus elephant Dumbo as a direct mockery of you, the original Moor, because they think you're too dumb to recognize your own reflection in the sideshow. Look at the cartoons and the circus ads. They even put a fez on the elephant, the physical symbol of Moorish nationality, and parade it around for amusement while you sit in the stands cheering for your own destruction. You were the Dumbo in their circus, as long as you refused to see the truth. After the mud floods and the wars of the 1800s, they had to repopulate the land. They brought in the Cabbage Patch Kids, the generation of clones and test tube babies harvested from orphan trains and World Fair incubators. These were the infant industries protected by the Republican Party's protective tariffs, not factories, but the biological manufacturing of a new, programmed workforce to replace the indigenous Moors. Lynchings were never just about random racial hate, it was corporate liquidation. The men they hung, like Jesse Washington in 1916, were often the chiefs, emperors, and allodial landowners whose names had to be erased so the state could seize their estates and resources. And look at the ritual parallel in that very same year. They took Mary the elephant, the living physical symbol of the Moorish Republic, and hung her from an industrial crane in a public execution. This was a theater of war, a mock ritual intended to signal the total overthrow of the original proprietors. They turned our majesty into sideshows and put Moors in human zoos in our own world expositions to brainwash the public into thinking we were savages from Africa rather than the architects of the mound cities in America. They trapped you in a psychological net, herding you into a status scam designed to reclassify you as contraband, Negro, or Indian. In 1871, through the Organic Act of Congress, the corporate United States officially usurped this land, establishing a municipal government for the District of Columbia to act as a holding company for the Moorish Empire. The slaughter of tens of millions of bison and American elephants was not merely a result of unchecked exploitation. It was a theater of war designed to erase the evidence of the American paradise and the Moors who ruled it. The invaders orchestrated a systematic extermination of these creatures to disconnect the Moors from the natural wealth of their land. Those that weren't slaughtered were captured and shipped overseas to foreign zoos or traveling shows, turning the majestic ancestral symbols of our republic into circus acts, like the mockery of Dumbo. Exactly how they treated the elephants is how they treated the original Moors of America. Before the corporate United States usurped this land in 1871, this was a lawful confederation governed by the Witan Agaman, a mystic assembly of wise men and nobles, and the alcalde, the Moorish village judge or magistrate, whose office existed in every state of the Union. Look at the mockery they've turned your status into. They give you the Republican elephant representing the substance of a lawful government and pitted against the Democratic donkey, which represents the demos, a mere demonstration, a theatrical act, the government of the mob. By joining that demonic party, they are literally showing you that you are a jackass for joining the mob against your own estate and handing your inheritance to a corpocracy. This entire two-party system is a Freemasonic war between two halves of the same whole, designed to keep you in a trance while they strip your mineral estates and allodial titles. We held allodial titles to the very soil. But today, you're acting as a supporting character in a movie written for you by your enemy, supporting a kleptocracy that siphons your energy and feeds on your trauma. Stop being a victim, declare your nationality, reclaim the republic, and remember, the elephant is yours, the land is yours, and the time of the great amnesia is finally over.